welcome back YouTube to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now and you're new to my channel, I'm AspieAnswersAll and I welcome you all with open arms right now. You must have come to my channel for a particular reason or a purpose, so whatever that reason and purpose, hopefully that some of this will be an encouragement, motivational, inspirational tool for you to either share the videos or just maybe to actually feel like that you need some tips and advice. That's what I'm here for as well. Tips and advice, mentoring, advocating, whatever they like to be in the future. If you haven't followed me for a while, basically I'm all about the mental health awareness series, which is sharing my everyday stories, be it, Asperger's syndrome, OCD, anxiety, and the like, basically. And hopefully that with some of these mental health series that I've been sharing, that you can actually maybe relate one way or another. I'm sure as how that many of us will relate one way or another, be it on whatever topic I'm sharing, and that that will be great, because I'm all about connecting here in this network, engaging with you all one way or another, and hopefully that sometime, however, that it will work for you. Right, and no further ado though, basically, I'm all talking about another mental health awareness topic that came to my heart basically right now before I address to you all the next topic that I had promised to one of the person that I've been actually, talking to on Facebook, is all about intrusive thoughts. Basically, what I covered in the very beginning, I just did a brief example of what intrusive thoughts is all about, how it comes about, the causes and triggers that we tend to question why it happens and how it happens in our everyday life of this, and just basically just sharing what I feel is true, a little bit of a quick myth that was actually, addressed about what, intrusive thoughts is all about. So no further ado though, this is the next part of it, which is the big answers to getting rid of, the intrusive thoughts. Here's what I want to learn. So let's begin it. The content of your thought doesn't count, however. You may be thinking, saying, what? Yet, it is relevant. Your thoughts will have no effect onto what you will do, though, however. A thought, even if it's a scary thought, is not an impulse, as we know. You will not act on the intrusive behaviors or thoughts, however. Your problem isn't of impulse control. You have an anxiety disorder. Got to remember this, because obviously intrusive thoughts comes under that category of the anxiety disorder. They are apart like chalk and cheese. Do you want to guarantee or terms of conditions, even if you don't have one or can't have one of this? If I said that to you, would you basically have acted upon those intrusive thoughts that I addressed to you, or maybe earlier in the piece, in the very beginning of the intro? Well, there's always a first time, right? We all know that there are certain things in our life that we have very small probability of occurring, and it makes sense to live our life as if they won't occur. For example, there's a tiny little probability that a meteorite might fall out of the sky, and just basically hit us as we're reading this. But then again, we can't always guarantee that it will happen. But the odds are so infinitesimally so small that it makes sense to ignore the possibility. This is the same reasoning that we go about with these intrusive thoughts, however. You may want to, have such reassurances because you are sensitized to some of the images, as I addressed to you all before, basically, of what, we may have. That creates that anxious thing, the elder state of mind. And basically also the elder state of reality of what's going on, that makes us feel the way we do. Excuse me. So, the only way to effectively basically deal with these intrusive, obsessive thoughts is by reducing your sensitivity to them. Remember that the content of your thought is irrelevant, and you must apply the paradoxical approach to cope with them. Pushing them away, altering your behavior to stay away from threatening situations, all these approaches will only serve to make them stronger and more intrusive, as with more other forms of anxiety, as I've said it, basically. Your job is to do the quite opposite while this is happening. Okay, I'm going to do a few steps here, sort of thing. I just want to quickly illustrate, even though, like I said, I just want to quickly make it as in two parts here of this, and obviously this is the last part of it, of this series of what I'm doing of the intrusive thoughts. Steps for coping with intrusive thoughts is basically, right, number one, label these thoughts as intrusive, obsessive thoughts. Number two, remind yourself that these thoughts are automatic and you can safely ignore them automatically. Number three, accept and allow the thoughts into your mind, but do not try to keep pushing them away regardless, because it can reoccur if you don't, deal with it in the right full manner, like any other, mental illness. Every illness has its treatment and stuff, and that we know with these treatments and therapies, it can be, manageable and treatable. But like I keep saying, that not everything has a cure or quick fix. Number 4, breathe deeply, meditate or what have you until your anxiety starts to go down. Last but not least, for coping with, continue whatever you were doing prior to when that intrusive thought came into your mind, and actually just, like I said, allow a distraction. Similarly to your self-harm, allow a distraction and do something that you enjoy, whatever it may be. We need to do that now and again. Okay, the do's and don'ts of the try not to and versus the try to is try not to's are basically number 1, engage the thoughts in any way. Number 2, push the thoughts out of your mind. Number 3, try to figure out what your thoughts mean in the first place when they do come up with it all. Even though we do have those, like I said, niggling thoughts of self-doubts, it tears us down of our self-confidence and self-esteem. Number 4, basically, convince yourself that you would never do what the thoughts are saying to you, And number 5, change your behavior so that you avoid the possibility of acting upon these thoughts in the first place. And the last but not least part of it, basically, is try to's. Try to. Number 1, label your anxiety level and watch it go up and down. Okay. Number 2, allow the thoughts to remain without hindrance. They will go away on their own eventually. Basically, we can, have the willpower to actually change our thinking patterns and everything else if we choose to. Like anything, it's our choice. Obviously, we know that we have the power, and obviously that little mindset of ours, of our mind, is the powerhouse. Number 3, last but not least, focus on managing your anxiety in the present. Again, this breathing that I've shared with you all, of the breathing technique, get it into gear and actually do it. Some of these approaches that I've addressed to you all, however, may be difficult to apply in our everyday life, but if with regular everyday doings of doing these steps, if you keep applying onto them, regardless every day, leading up to maybe a few weeks, months, what have you, this can be a best chance for you that you'll begin to see a decrease in the number and intensity of your intrusive thoughts that has come into your life in the first place. Well, basically that ends the second part of basically the intrusive thoughts. Give me a like for thumbs up for support, basically. Share the love by sharing my videos around to family and friends, basically. Comment below if you feel to comment. Also follow me on Facebook or Twitter, AspieAnswersAll. Private message me if you need to, talk, rant, rave, or even just want a particular topic you feel in your heart for me to address to you all. Basically, give me the lowdown of basically, what's going on if you have to, feel the need to have to. But like I said in one or many of my videos, feel free as a challenge to maybe basically, share your story so that we can create a, ripple effect of one way or another. Feel free to also basically just, give me the lowdown. I've actually appreciated some of the comments so far that many of you are actually enjoying the content, which I'm grateful for, because as I shared in one of my parts to some people, I've been getting a lot of disagreements with people outside my circle that I shouldn't be sharing it, but that doesn't matter because I feel on my heart right now to make that stand and actually share my stories of my life story of my mental health awareness versus whatever else I go down. So like I said, this is a form of therapy for me, basically. So, in all further ado, guys, thanks for your support. Love what you do, do what you love. Until next time, have a great day. I'll see you all again soon.